Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. And today, as you can see, I'm still continuing my Disney movie marathon, where I'll be talking about the movies, of course, the TV shows, merchandising, theme parks, I don't know, whatever the case may be. If it's related to Disney in any shape or form, then yes, obviously, there's a good chance I'll be talking about them, of course. So I just figured, just what the hell, I'll just talk about another bizarre situation where this religious individual wants to talk about Pixar more specifically. But yeah, he's supposed to be this American Christian, this scholar individual and writer. Yeah, he writes stuff related to the church. He wants to talk about political stuff, the church history, stuff in not in that nature, of course. There's a bunch of other stuff he would, of course, do, but basically he wants to his entire life be built around Jesus, of course. Anyway, the thing is that, of course, just like many of these religious individuals, he seems to have this this hate boner. I guess you can say this hate boner towards Disney, just like a lot of the others I've covered here on this channel. But here we go again. To be more specific here, is Pixar's animated film Brave. And he has a bone to pick with this movie because I have no idea. But basically, the idea is that the movie Brave, and to give some context here before I start the video, he explains that Satan is out to attack God's, I guess, his God's plan for life to be fruitful and multiply. You know how in the Bible it says that you should have a bunch of babies and whatnot, and just to basically conquer the air, conquer the land, conquer the sea and the ocean, and all that. Just have a truckload of babies. Yeah, in other words, pregnancy. So he's claiming that the film Brave is against the effort of God to have babies. Yes, have His creation have a lot of babies. Have the woman be nothing more than baby factor, and the film Brave is against that somehow. What? I'm confused here. Okay, this is really bizarre, but here we go.
Satan hates God, but he can't attack God directly, so he attacks God's representative, God's image, instead. Walt Disney and Pixar films just combined together to come out with a new movie.
No. Disney and Pixar teamed up because at the time Disney was struggling, financially speaking, to stay afloat, which resulted them teaming up with Pixar, and they have been doing pretty decent from since then, actually. Even though in the recent years they've been kind of wobbly with their financial movies, by which I mean they haven't really had a massive hit movie in a good while in recent years, but at least in 2023 anyway. At least in 2023 and maybe 2022, they haven't really had something too massive, I guess. But they didn't team up with each other to be a disgrace towards God. You lying right off the bat.
And it's called Brave.
Brave. Why do you sound so weird and nasally? Why do you sound so weird when you said that? You sound like your nose is clogged up or something. I wouldn't even ask if you saw the movie because it's clearly that you haven't. I mean, basically, the overall summary is that Merida is rebelling against her mother because her mother Eleanor has this tradition within the family that they would have these suitors, these mates that they would select for the daughter. I guess she must have done it when she was young, and then her mother, and then her mother's mother. It's like a big tradition. But Merida didn't want that. So they're not exactly seeing eye to eye with that kind of a thing. So they're going to be rebellious. So I mean, okay, in that regard, I can't blame the daughter really when you come to think about it. So you basically trying to have select a random guy to sleep with your daughter, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I can't really blame her for that. The character married to this witch and this whole thing about fate. I know, yeah, that's also something about the archery that's being selected for the like some kind of contest tournament thing, and the father character seems a bit somewhat lenient about the whole thing. He's like, whatever. She's just being who she is. I mean, okay, I'm skipping around a lot here because there's also this whole thing with the brothers as well. She has three younger brothers as well, and and then the whole idea that the daughter and the mother would basically have to listen to each other. The father character would just trying to explain to the mother that his wife maybe have a talk, maybe have a talk. Let's see what she has to say. It's like a whole thing. There's like a lot out here I'm skipping over, but just basically the idea is basically to have kids, and she's rebelling against it. When you think about it, that's about it in a lot of ways.
It's a movie set in Scotland. It's it's a cartoon.
A cartoon? I couldn't have figured that on my own. I actually thought that was actually real life people until you told me what to do.
And this movie attacks marriage and
What movie are you talking about now? Okay, we established it's set in Scotland, and then it's a cartoon, and let me see. That's about it. That's like the only thing we established here. Just that. Just the fact it's a cartoon that's set in Scotland. That's it. That's like the only thing you really said up to this point, really. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean the movie's trying to do that? When did that happen? When did that ever happen in the film? The daughter, Merida, she just didn't, she just didn't want to be forced into something she didn't want because obviously things will change, traditions could be broken. So it's like a lesson that needs to be taught here because nothing stays the same forever. For better or for worse, things will change eventually. And that's realistic, actually. That's pretty believable, really. So, again, what's the problem exactly? You have not addressed the problem, like, at all.
undermines the human desire to procreate, to multiply as God meant us to do.
What are you talking about? Since when Merida went against the concept of gotta multiply and be fruitful? What? You totally missed the point of the movie. Oh boy, what are you talking about? Do you realize that it's extremely awkward that both of your parents want to help you to get laid and get pregnant?
And in it, a young princess in Scotland just refuses to get married. She'll do anything she can to stay out of it.
Well, I can't hardly blame her considering the circumstances that she's in. So, your little rant here is about the fact that a fictional character, who doesn't even exist, by the way, isn't getting laid and isn't becoming this baby factory that is going to produce a bunch of babies. Some of his priorities isn't exactly lined up, really. Ugh. This is so weird.
She even goes to a witch to have a spell cast on the queen, her own mother.
Technically, no, she didn't do that. She didn't have a witch cast a spell on the mother. The witch cast a spell on this thing that the mother ate. To be more specific, the spell was not on the mother directly. Not at least not in the way that you're putting it.
This movie is now coming out from Disney and Pixar, and it is one other effort to attack.
Yeah, this supposed attack on your Christian values, apparently. So you want her to be a baby factory. You want this character to be nothing more than a baby factory. Just have her produce a truck ton of babies. And the fact that never happened upsets you. This is so weird. What?
That fundamental social institution of marriage and that fundamental human mission of multiplying and filling the earth.
Okay, that's about it, folks. I mean, there was so much more wrong here. Okay, for example, why do I have to get married to prove that I love the person? Why do I have to get married to a woman just for the sole purpose just to have her reproduce? I mean, granted, in the grand scheme of things, maybe at the end of the day, they don't really care. Maybe deep down, they don't care if I love her. They don't care if the man loves the woman. It's all just a facade. You could argue that it doesn't matter ultimately if the couple actually love each other because they just want these Christians. They just want them to reproduce for the church. That's it. For the church. For the church. Have an absurd amount of babies just for the church and nothing more. There's just, I mean, there's so much more I can get into this, but I'll just leave it at here. Thanks for watching, folks. Until next time, see ya. Ugh.